Hey guys, welcome back to Shristi Tech Academy. In this video, let us learn how to generate interactive documentations for our Spring Boot REST API using Open API specifications with the help of Spring Doc and Swagger UI. With minimal annotations, we can generate an interactive documentations with clear, readable and developer-friendly endpoints. Now let us get started. Here I already have my REST API where the domain model is product. For this Spring Boot REST API, let us generate the documentation. For this, the first step is we need to add the dependency. The dependency to be added is Spring Doc Open API. So let us go to the browser, search for it, get the dependency and add it over here. Search for Spring Doc Open API Maven. In this case, there are two dependencies. One with starter MVC, the other one is a plain one. Choose the one which comes with starter MVC. Let me show it to you. So here, this dependency is Spring Doc Open API. This is not with MVC. So you need to select the one that comes with MVC. So let me go and search it again. Add MVC and search for it. Spring Doc Open API Starter Web MVC. This is the one that we need to add as dependency for our application. Click on this. Search for the version which is downloaded very often. So in our case it is 2.8.5. Click on this. Scroll down. Copy the dependency. Go back to your application and add it. Let me open pom.xml and I will add this. Now the dependency is added. What next? Without doing any modifications in your application, you can run the application. Automatically, the documentation for your Spring REST API will be generated. Now let us check it out. Select your main class, right click, run a Spring Boot app. The application is started successfully. The application is running in port number 8081. Now let us go to the browser and get our documentation that is generated automatically. Let me open a new tab. Localhost 8081 / swagger UI / index.html. This is the URL. Your documentation will be available in this particular URL. Now here you can see this. I have two controllers, one is product controller, the other one is user controller. It is showing all the REST endpoints that are available for this particular controller. And I am having two DTO classes. One is product DTO, the other one is user DTO. The schemas for that also is provided here. As in, what are the properties these classes having together with their data types. If you notice, all the REST endpoints are shown over here properly. You don't have to even go for Postman or the browser for testing your REST API. If you have added Swagger as dependency, you can test it out from here also. Let us try one or two REST endpoints. I don't have any data in the database. So let us start with post. Click on the downward arrow. It is expecting a request body. The example data has to be like this. So let me click try it out. Here I need to provide the data. Mobile. We don't have to provide the product ID because it will be auto generated. Brand, category and price. Click execute. Here you can see the output. This is the request URL, and if you are using curl, this is how you will be executing the request, and see the final output. It is returning the response body 200. The product is added to the database. How to check it out? Go to get method product API / products. Click on the downward arrow. Try it out. Execute. In the bottom, this is the request URL. This is how you have to write the code if you are using curl, and you can see the final output. Just now what we have added. So I hope it is clear. You can do the testing of your REST API also within Swagger environment. This is fine. Where is the documentation? What if I want to see the documentation? Click on this link. Select pretty print. Here you can see the documentation in the form of JSON. On the top you can see the title, you can see the URL, the endpoints, user/user ID, what it is expecting, request body, what is the response type, 200, description okay, what is the content that it is returning, user DTO object. Similarly for patch mapping, then what it is expecting, then product API/product. So put mapping, what it is expecting, request body, what is the response type. So the complete details of your REST API is given as a documentation. But of late people are using YAML. What if I want the document in the form of YAML? Just go and add .yaml as extension. It will ask you to save the file .yaml, save, and let me open it. Now here you can see the documentation in the form of YAML. You can see the REST endpoints, user API/v1/users post method, tags, operation ID. Okay, this is all good. But if you notice here the operation ID is add user, then get all, just the method name what you are having in your application is shown over here. What if I want to give a user friendly description or title for my documentation? That can be achieved with the help of simple annotations. Starting from the title to the operation name, the response description, what is the content that you are expecting, everything can be given in the form of annotations. So let us get started. To start with, I want to provide the title, version, the description for this application. That is this info and server part. We can do this with the help of the annotation that is added in the main class. Annotate the main class with @OpenAPI definition, which takes two attributes. One is info, something here, comma, servers, which takes an array. Okay. What to be added in info? Inside this, let me just pull this down. Here, @info. Inside this, it takes title, version and description. Title. The value of title is string. Let me add the value product catalog REST API. The next one is version. Let us provide the version as 1.0. And the third one is description. This is a REST API with REST endpoints for product. Okay. So this is for title. Next we need to add servers. Servers takes an array of servers. So within curly braces, add @server, round bracket. It takes URL and description. URL is http://localhost:8081. This is a string. And the second one is again description. Let me give it as local server. So this is for the first part, whatever you are having here. Next, the next one is paths. All these paths come under the appropriate controller class. In the end, if you go to the bottom, you have schema, user DTO and product DTO. If you want to provide details for these properties, that also you can just provide it using @schema annotation. Okay. Now let us go to the controller. Let me go to product controller. In the product controller, let me add the annotation as @tag. The purpose of tag is to group different endpoints based on a particular category. So now let me add a tag for this. We are going to use two attributes. The first one is name, which is product controller, and the second one is description, as REST endpoints of product catalog. Now coming down, we can add annotations for each and every method. So let me do it for two methods. One is using post mapping, the other one is using get mapping. The annotation over here is @operation, which takes few attributes. So let us add few attributes. The first one is operation ID, which can be the method name. Already we have seen that in the YAML file. Let me have the operation ID as create product. Then summary, adding a product. Next one is description, comma, this REST endpoint is used to create a product, or you can write create a resource. Okay, that's it. Together with this, let us also add one more annotation about the response, as in at API responses. This API responses takes value as an array of API response. So value equal to curly brace within which at API response. Let us see the attributes inside API response. So it has got response code. If it is successful, the response code is 201. Description. So first let me add the attributes. Response code, description, comma, content. What is the content that it is going to return? If you want to add reference links, you can do that also. Content. Now let me come to description. Creates and returns the saved product. Okay. Then content. See the value for content. This content takes at content, which takes two attributes again. One is media type. In our case, it is application/JSON. Then schema. So let me add the content here. This content takes media type, comma, schema. What is the data that it is going to return? So schema equal to at schema, which takes an attribute as implementation. So in our case, it is product DTO.class. Okay, this is what it is using. So if you notice here in our documentation, you have that as such. So let me go into post HTTP method. Here you can see operation ID, request body. What is the request body taking? Content and schema, required true. What is the response? It is 200. Description is okay. I changed the response from 200 to 201 because a new resource is getting created in the backend. Okay, what is the content type? Media type is application/JSON and the schema is product DTO. So similar to that, you can add it for all the methods. Now let us do the same thing for get mapping also. Summary, product ID is get all products. Summary is getting list of products. Description, this REST endpoint is used to return a list of products. Let me correct the typo. Used to, similar to this, let me correct the typo here. Response code is 200. Returns a list of product. Description. Content is media type application/JSON. Schema is DTO.class. Similar to this, let us see where to add at parameter. So let me copy the whole thing. And where you are using path variable, in that scenario you can use parameter. Now let me scroll down. Get one product by ID. So let me add the operation annotation here. Operation ID is get product by ID. So here it is. The summary is getting one product by ID. This REST endpoint is used to return a product by ID. Okay. Now together with that, we can also add another attribute for operation, that is parameter. It takes a parameter array. It means within curly braces at parameter. Wherever you are using path variable, you can use this round bracket. Let us see the attributes. Parameter name, which is product ID, comma, required true. If you want to add any other attribute relevant to this parameter, you can add that also. Allow empty value, whether it is supposed to have empty value. Allow reserved, whether it is an array or not. What is the description? So pass product ID. So these are the attributes for at parameter. I hope it is clear. Together with that, we can also add a API responses. The response code is 200. Description is returns one product. Media type is application/JSON. Schema is implementation product DTO.class. Similar to that, in the DTO class also, you can add the annotations relevant to it as in at schema annotations. At schema name equal to product name. Description enter a string value. Likewise, we can add the schema for all the properties. If you want to provide a default value, that also is possible. Now above the class also we can add the same annotation at schema, which takes a name equal to, this is a product class, product DTO class. Okay, this is enough. Now let me save product controller, relaunch the application. We have added minimal annotations. It is not mandatory that you need to add all the annotations that I have added. It is all optional. Wherever you want to provide clear instructions to the developer, you can add the appropriate schema. If you notice here, in each and every method, we have provided the description just to inform what actually it is returning. So likewise, you can do that. Let me relaunch the application. The application has started successfully. Now let me go to the browser. So it is still index.html. Enter. Now you can see the title of this REST API. It is product catalog REST API. We have given a tag name for product controller. So the tag name is product controller. And the description is it has REST endpoints of product catalog. Now let me scroll down. Here you can see for post, adding a product, getting list of products, getting one product by ID. To see it much more clearly, let me select this API docs. Now see this. Title product catalog REST API, the description is changed, version, see the server URL description and the tag name product controller. Then we did not touch user controller at all. So let me scroll down, go to product API. In product API, we have tried for getAll method. It comes under product controller. See the summary, description, the operation ID that we have added, the responses that we have added. 200 returns a list of products. What about the other things? If you see the other REST endpoint, the description is given as just OK. If you want to provide a readable content to the developer, you are going to give your own description. And content is application JSON. The schema is product DTO class. So here you can see this. Schema references, user DTO. Content is not provided at all. So same way we have done for post method also. Summary, description, operation ID and so on. Responses 201. See, in this case I have provided only for a successful response. If the method is going to return a error response, what will be the error message? If the input is invalid, then the response will be 400, invalid input. If you want to add that, you can do that also. Let me come to the schemas. We have user DTO and product DTO. This is the name that I have given. So it is coming as product DTO class. Type is object, product name. I have messed up something. You can see product name is coming as integer. Let me check the application again. I'll go to the product class. This is the DTO class. See, in both the places I have given the same name. So the first one was replaced by product ID. So let me have it as product ID. And here product DTO class. Save and relaunch. Refresh. Come down to the bottom. Now it is product DTO class. Product name's type is string. Description enter a string value. If you want to provide a better description, you can do that too. For the other properties, we have not added at schema. So it is coming with a default one. Also let us see that path variable one. This one. Summary, getting one product by ID. Description, operation ID, parameter. Parameter name is product ID. In is path. It means it's a path variable. Description, pass the product ID. Required true. Schema is integer. Format is integer data type. So I hope this is clear. Hope this is helpful for you to generate an interactive documentation for your application. Thank you.